I want to thank all of the witnesses today for their very moving and important testimony. And I want to thank all of you for appearing here today. I would like to begin my questions with Mr. Shaffir. We are very honored to have you here today, and I was deeply moved by your testimony. You and your family suffered incredible loss and showed incredible courage. And I know that testifying today must be very difficult for you. So I want to ask you, given how difficult it is for you to relive this pain, why did you agree to come here and to tell your story? Why is it so important to you that other people hear this story?
We need to share, we need to share this historical tragedy. It's impossible for people to remember, and some of them probably will forget what happened, how many millions of people, innocent people, were killed because they were Jews or any other faith. If I don't speak out, if I don't share my information, I will only have myself to be blamed at because they are not share my information. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here and trying to share my information as best as I can.
Is there a single message that you would hope to convey to the American public, many of whom are watching on television, many of whom are members of the younger generation? What would that key message be you would like to convey to them?
The message I would like to convey is really, I can summarize that in two words, two powerful words: speak out. It's very important that we do not remain silent.
On Monday of this week, we passed overwhelmingly bipartisan legislation to provide additional funding to give students the opportunity to learn from people like you and to hear from survivors. This bill would also expand the educational program of the Holocaust Museum. And I understand that you work at the Holocaust Museum. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I'm a docent. I've been a docent for 10 years.
Great.
I do take tours or give tours to law enforcement agencies, trying to teach what happened and to make sure things like this never happen again.
And could you tell us why these education programs at the museum are so important to help educate future generations?
In the 1930s and 40s, we had one common enemy, that was Hitler. Today, we have a new enemy, it's time. Unfortunately, all of us are getting older. Many of us are dying out. I'm one of the younger ones, and I'm 83 years old. I don't know how long I can live. So if we don't tell the story, we don't do something about that, obviously, we need to educate young people. Right now, I still have my voice. Once I'm gone, I need the young generation to be our voices.
Why do you think it's so important that our nation remember the lessons of the Holocaust? Why do you think it's so important that we don't forget about it, that it's not manufactured or ignored or altered?
If we don't remember the past, our future will look very bright. Unfortunately, I wear a pin. It's 4 letters on it, 4 Hebrew letters, which means Zachor. Zachor has 2 meanings. One, remember, and one, don't forget. The first Zachor, remember the atrocities that the Nazis have committed against innocent people. And Zachor, don't forget all these who perished. So we need to remember all these things and pass on to our children, our grandchildren, so they would not forget.
Well, I want to thank you for your very moving testimony, and you know better than any of us what can happen when hate is allowed to flourish. As our committee continues to examine the threat of white supremacy in the weeks and months ahead with the other hearings that we have scheduled, we're fortunate to have your perspective, and we are very grateful for your time and for your testimony.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will now recognize Mr.